this is Steve DeYoung from Grand Rapids, Michigan, in Elger Heights area. It's a suburb of Grand Rapids. We're going to show you today how to make maple syrup. The cheap, economical way to make maple syrup. First, let me tell you a little history about it. There was once this little Indian who was walking down to the stream, and he tripped. And as he was falling, he grabbed a hold of a branch and broke it off, and he fell down. He still fell down. And the story has it that he quick got up, made sure nobody was looking at him, and that branch that he grabbed and broke was a maple tree. And it started to drip. It dripped on a stone. A little while later, after returning back to his tribe, he came back to the stone. That little puddle was there, and he tasted it, and it tasted sweet. You can actually taste a little sweetness out of sap from maple trees, whether it be hard maple, sugar, or soft maple. You can tell a little sweetness in there. So anyway, he took that sap and that back to the tribe. They boiled it down, and that's how maple syrup became maple syrup the way that we have it today. This is the maple syrup that we're boiling right now. It usually takes 40 gallons of sap to make 1 gallon of maple syrup. That's where they come up with the 40 to 1, okay? And what we have here is a makeshift sugar bush. It's just a rack with some bars on it, and a bunch of fire inside here, a bunch of wood for the fire, a couple kettles that you use for canning. It's porcelain kettles. You don't want to use galvanized, because galvanized with maple syrup, not good to eat, okay? You got to use something porcelain. A couple porcelain things, you pick them at a garage sales for $5-10. You're nice and cheap. The wood, everybody's got a Craigslist. Go to Craigslist, look under free, and put in the search engine wood, and you come up with a whole bunch of different items to pick from at your own picking, whether it be skids, whatever. Or you can go to your neighborhood cemetery like I did, and you pick up all the wood for free from the branches that had fallen down over the winter time. That's what I did do. There's another thing free. The only thing that you actually have to buy are the spiles, S-P-I-L-E-S. We look under their search engine for Google, look under spiles, and you'll come up with all these different spiles. Looks like our maple sap here, actually the maple syrup is boiling off pretty good, as you can see, but it looks like it's getting down a little low, and I got some maple sap right here. It looks like just water. We have to put some inside here, and put some inside here. And as you put it inside, the boil, of course, goes down. And wait till it starts boiling again. Then the water start coming off there, and sometimes the chips from the wood float around and they get inside the pan. So I've got this little scoop right here. It's something that your mother would probably use in the kitchen, but I stole it from my wife many years ago. That's a screen. And you just go inside here like this, get out all those chips and stuff. I usually just knock it like that, and that goes right there like that. The chips float to the top, that comes out like that, and you're all set. Now let's go in the garage and we'll talk about different supplies that you need for the maple syrup tapping. Alright, we're here in the garage now, and as you can see, I also do small engine repair for lawnmowers and snowblowers. We're going to be talking a bit about the items that we need for making the maple syrup. You're going to need a stove here, powered by a propane tank. You're going to need a drill bit, actually a drill, cordless drill, 7/16" bit bore, spiles. You're going to need tubing, MAP gas or propane gas with a torch. You're going to need the tops for the 5-gallon pails, and you're going to need pails, 5-gallon pails, 5 gallons. We're going to talk a little bit about putting the spiles into the tube. It's very, very simple. You've got to be really safe with this kind of stuff. It's gas. And what we do, very simple. This is MAPP gas, so it heats a little bit hotter than propane. But I usually just make that tube a little soft, put the spile into the tube, turn off the gas, and pretty soon that spile is going to be concreted, cemented right inside that tube right here. It isn't gonna come out. Today we're going to be talking about tapping the maple tree itself. Most maple trees can have one bucket, and some other maple trees can take 2 buckets. There's a maple tree down the street down here that I'll bet you could take 3 buckets, 5-gallon pails. We're going to be using our 5-gallon pail, our battery-powered drill with a 7/16" spade bit on the end, and a hammer, and we got the spiles right here. So it's real easy to do. You're going to see sap coming out of that tree before we even get done tapping the hole. So let's go tap a maple tree. As you can see, we already have a pail on this side of the tree already tapped, and that's dripping pretty good. What we're going to do is we're going to put one right here, and it's very, very simple. You find yourself a good spot for the pail to sit, and if you can't find a good spot, a lot of times you can put a stick or something like underneath here too to help it stabilize itself as it fills up with sap. And how we're going to do it now is, what I do is I take the tube itself, stick it in the hole first, about maybe an inch down. Then what I do is I find out where the spile will go. I don't just drill a hole and then hope that it reaches up there. I put it in the pail first, and then I put it up here on the tree. I mark my finger on it, bring the pail back, and put my bit right there, my spade bit right there, 7/16", and I'm going to go on a little angle so it drills straight up. That black mark is a 2-inch mark. I want to go a little bit past that 2-inch mark because we have bark to contend with here too. So here we go. There's 2 inches right there. And what we'll do here, we'll grab my hammer, and as you can see, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but there's the sap right there, dripping right out of the hole. Good day to tap trees. What we'll do here is we'll put that spile right there, tap it in, and then it's going to start coming down the tube. We have another spile here, in addition to this one right here, that we can put inside the hole, inside the bucket, a good inch, inch and a half. Find out where our spot is on the tree. Mark it with your finger. Grab your drill and drill. On a little angle up. You don't ever want to go straight in. You want to go a little angle up so it has a good draw. Clean that off and put your spile in there. Make sure it is vertical. Tap it in. Then what we can do is we can go up here also and tap another one. We can go over here and over here. I'd rather come over here, straight down.
Why would you go on that side instead of the other?
Doesn't matter really. You could go on this side, but I like the sun beating down on the bark right here.
Okay.
So the sun beating down on the bark
warms it up,
and it has a better dripping or draw. Get the chips out, and as you can see, it's starting to drip already. Slam it inside with your hammer. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see this, but It's starting to drip already. It comes through here, comes right through here. And let's just find out how fast this thing is dripping. Here they are. Not going to take long for these things to fill up this pail. It's supposed to hit 50 degrees today, and last night it dropped down to about 32 because all these lines from the other trees that we're tapping were all frozen. Now they're all unfrozen, and this is all maple sap. We take it from here to the sugar bush, boil it down 40 to 1, and comes up maple syrup. What we're going to do now is we're going to check this other pail on the other side that we just tapped. Yesterday when I checked these pails, it was really cold, but I knew I had to check the pails. And when I pulled out the pulled up the top, this big huge chunk of ice was inside the pail. That's just plain water that doesn't contain any sap. What I did is I just reached inside, pulled it out, laid it off over the side, and that's all water. That doesn't contain any sap. And all the sap stayed inside the bucket, which I dumped inside the trash can. This is all sap. As you can see, it's dripping pretty good again. Okay. Get the girls, get the girls. What we're going to talk about right now is safety. What you don't want to do is lay a bunch of these logs all on the ground around your sugar bush, because it only takes once for you to slip and fall from stepping on a log into your pan of sap, boiling sap, or even the fire itself. That's no fun. So try to keep everything away from your sugar bush so you can walk around it and not trip over anything. You grab yourself a piece of wood, throw it in the fire, and you're all done. So keep everything away or pile it up nice and safe. When do you know when you're done? Well, let me see. Say you want to make a gallon of maple syrup. You have to do 8 5-gallon pails of sap to make 1 gallon. That's 40 to 1. So when you're boiling it all down, you got 5-gallon pail after 5-gallon pail goes inside there, and you get down to about 1.5 gallons of liquid. You want to cut your fire off and finish that on a burner, separate burner, inside the garage. Do not finish it off on the stove inside the kitchen, unless you want your wife to be mad at you and you got all this steam in the house. You don't need all that steam, plus of course it's sticky. Guess what? You'll be washing the walls and the ceilings. So finish it off in the garage under a low flame, like a gas or a propane. What we're going to do now is we're going to take that sap that we just boiled down from 66 gallons down to about half of that right there. We'll take the old t-shirt, put it on the pail, wire it to the pail, and strain the sap or syrup through this filter right here, and that way it'll get rid of all the impurities, and we can finish it off inside the garage like we mentioned previously. got so much sediment inside here that it cannot go through the t-shirt. So I'm just moving the sediment around so it can be filtered through. The clean t-shirt. Must use clean t-shirts. It's a necessity. All the stuff that was inside that syrup before we finish it off inside the garage. The t-shirt goes in the fire. Now let's go in the garage and finish this off and make some pure maple syrup. Okay, we got our finished, almost finished syrup in this pail. The level of the syrup right now is up to about here. That's the 66 gallons of sap that we collected over the last 2-3 days. You got to remember, the days have got to be warm and the evenings have got to be freezing for the sap to run really good. Today is on Saturday. It hasn't been running that good because it's cold during the day, cold at night. I probably got about 10 gallons of sap out of 10 pails. I should have at least 30 or 40 gallons. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to take the product here, put it in a pan, put it on the stove right here, turn on the gas with the propane, and then after it gets thick enough, we have to put some of the product inside this. What we're going to do now is we're going to take the finished syrup here, put it in the pan, but before we do that, we have to light the stove. And we dump the sap or syrup into the pan. Now as that heats, pretty soon it's going to get to the point where it's thicker. What we have here is a PVC pipe, 1.5 inch PVC pipe with an end cap glued on. It's clean inside, it's been going through the dishwasher already. And we're going to have here is a hydrometer. And the hydrometer is in its protective case right now. They're about $25 or $35. And it's for pure maple syrup only. The bottom red line is for cold testing. The top one is for hot testing. We have hot syrup here. When it's done, that gets thick enough. We think that it's thick enough. We're going to put the syrup inside this thing right here, about 1/2 inch down from the top. We're going to put the hydrometer in there, and it should float right to the line of the top line. What we're going to do is right now is try to test the maple syrup and put the hydrometer inside there and see where we're floating. And we'll see in a little while as we fill it up to about 1/2 inch from the top. Okay, there we go. A little bit more. Okay, good. We'll take the hydrometer, put the hydrometer inside the, whoops, maybe not 1/2 inch. It's been a while yet. See, as you can tell, it dropped on the bottom. It should actually float. So it's got some time to boil down, get the extra water out of there, and then we'll be ready to test it again. We'll test it another 1/2 hour. The maple syrup's been boiling for a while, and it's I'm pretty sure it's time to check the hydrometer again. And it is. And it's right at the red line at the top. It's ready to can. So we take the hydrometer out, wash it off in a little water, and put it back in its holder so we don't get broken. Then what we do, we put the maple syrup inside one of the jars. A little bit more than there. This all come from a tree just behind us. This pint represents 5 gallons of sap. Okay? We use about a half inch head space. Then we take a rag. I usually dip the rag inside the hot water and wipe the top of the jar to take away any of the sap that might have gotten onto the top. Then take a magnet, small engine repair magnet, and we take out a lid that's been simmering inside the pot here, and put that on the clean top. Take out a ring, carefully put this on here. That jar is very hot, so it's nice to just to snug it down. And then what we do is we lay it over like this for about 5 minutes. Then after a while, that's called getting rid of the head space. And about 5 minutes later, we bring it back up again, let it cool, and pretty soon you're going to hear the popping sounds of the lid sealing itself. And that is how we take care of the maple syrup. So we'll do another one here. That's pretty good. The guy that's going to get this one is going to get a little bit less. And we'll take a little water, like before. Squeeze out the excess. And just barely wipe the top of it, cleaning off any of the maple syrup that's already on there. Take the trustworthy magnet, pull that thing out, lay that on the client's clean head. Here comes the ring. Lay that down, screw it down finger tight, and lay that down like that. Get rid of the head space for 5 minutes, and then we bring it up again. We're all set to take this pot and put some more of the sap inside and start boiling it again. So that's what we'll do now. Isn't this fun? I'm having a blast. I wish I could have started this a week ago, but we can't. I am having the funnest time of my life. I can't wait to can some more pure maple syrup, free from your neighborhood.